We're hosting a really unique reader test team event today. We've got together 6 readers and 4 of the latest new cars, and we're going to let the readers try these cars out on the track and on the road to find out just how good the latest active safety systems are. Hosting this event with us is Thatcham Research, and it's their experts who are going to be in the cars with our readers, explaining to them how these systems work and getting them to try them out firsthand. If you're interested in buying any of these cars at the end of this video, you can get a great discount at whatcar.com. So Matthew, could you run me through the 3 different tests we've set up here for the readers to try out the systems?
Yeah, we're going to show the latest driver assistance systems, and the first one we're going to see is AEB, and that uses an onboard sensor to measure whether I'm watching the car in front. If it doesn't, it will automatically brake and prevent us having a crash. So that's using a camera and a radar to sense it's a stationary vehicle. You could hear the warning then, I didn't react, and it put the brakes on automatically. That's a real lifesaver.
That's a good thing, yes.
So the second system we're showing is adaptive cruise control, and this is using the same radar as the AEB system, and it's tracking the vehicle in front and keeping a safe distance. I'm doing 40 miles an hour at the moment, but when that vehicle in front slows down, we're automatically slowing down as well, and that's a really good safety aid, and it really reduces the stress on a motorway because it's always going to keep a safe distance between you and the car in front. The final system we're showing is the steering support system, and this vehicle is following the white lines and following the vehicle in front, and as we go round this radius you can see it's beginning to steer for me. Now, it's not an automatic steering system, this is not an automated vehicle, but it's helping me, it's helping guide the vehicle, which again is a really good thing to reduce the stress of driving.
But how useful are these systems? To find out, we asked some What Car readers to try out a selection of these systems on a number of cars to evaluate how useful and effective they are. So yeah, if you could just think about the cars you've driven today and the safety systems on them, okay. Which one do you think is the best?
Well, thinking the best. I do love the Volvo. The one that jumps out most of all is the way the Ford Focus has moved in 3 years. Because a friend of mine at work, he's got a 65 plate, I want to say, Ford Focus, and it's a titanium, it's top of the range. But when you step into that one, it's like you wouldn't recognise it. It's a complete shift up. So I think Ford have done really well in moving the bar so high, and it's an affordable car. Having all 4 cars choose a line through this gentle S-bend here, both the Tesla and the Mercedes took a line that I wouldn't want to be in. They turned in late and went right to the edge of the lane. Whereas it seemed that the Volvo and the Ford both took a much more central lane position, which seemed better to me. It definitely felt like if you were going quicker, then we were going to be right on the edge of the lane.
I was actually more impressed, by the Ford Focus. For kind of a lower end of the market car, certainly in comparison to the ones we've driven today. While it didn't have the autonomous braking in the same way, and it doesn't have the full range of features that something like the Mercedes or the Tesla does, it felt a lot more certain on the lane keeping. Certainly compared to some of the others, it just felt a bit more sure, keeping the centre line, though I believe the Tesla's slightly more responsive at higher speeds of taking the curves.
I think I would probably prefer this one, but it will take some getting used to understand the technology.
What I like best about this one is that the way it does it, when you engage it, is simple to engage. Obviously we were taught how each and every one works, like which button to press to make it work. I'll say this one is the easiest to understand, and when it comes in is more natural. The way that it drives like someone who is experienced. It drives like your dad's driving it.
And what about the automatic emergency braking?
That was really impressive. I've got a similar feature on my own Mini. Thankfully I've never had to rely on it kicking in. But the only thing I would say on the Volvo is it did seem to come in quite late. It stopped me from 45, which was really impressive, without impacting the vehicle. And it seemed again to not cut in too early. It was a little later than perhaps I was expecting. But I guess that's part of the decision-making process for it. that the driver is ultimately in control, and then you're just allowing the system to kind of augment your driving.
The AEB demonstration was actually very impressive, and the only issue I had, I think, at the speeds we were doing it was that you didn't get much warning that the system was going to operate, so you couldn't really react in time and do anything else. But I'm told if you're going quicker, you get a long enough time to make your own action before the system cuts in, and that seemed very impressive. And it doesn't seem to intervene at any other time, so I can't see a problem with that at all. It's, you wouldn't know you had it until you really needed it.
The way that it does it, it comes in actually quite late, and the braking is quite harsh, but it's not too harsh to the point that you're going to fly through the windscreen. And you could feel the seatbelt pretensioner would start to act first, and then it's got like extra motors to pull you in, and then it will release it all after you come to a safe stop, which is quite good, because I thought the seatbelt would still be locked in, and then you'd probably struggle to get out or whatever.
Would you use these systems?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, I rely on them in my Mini, certainly for the adaptive cruise control. I do a lot of motorway mileage for my job, so it is nice having that there as an extra level of support over the driver, to know that if something were to cut up, it would brake off to maintain the distance.
It certainly wouldn't be a factor in my choice of car, I don't think. I mean, if I was covering huge distances on motorways, then the adaptive cruise control and the steering assist possibly.
I have those on my current car, and I enjoy using them.
Well, speaking as a driver, I would probably never ever have it switched on.
Okay.
It's not the sort of thing that interests me. I still like driving. I've enjoyed driving up here today. It was a really nice, quiet drive. I'm not looking forward to going back because the traffic will be horrible. But I don't want cars to take over my fun.
If they were available as a sort of no-cost option, then yeah, I wouldn't mind having it. It's a useful technology for pretty much everyone. Yeah, that's what I would say. It's always nice to know that you've got something to help you, rather than you're totally on your own and leave to your own devices.
There can be stark differences between the advanced driver assistance systems offered by different car makers. Some are really proactive and run the risk of giving the driver the impression that the car is in control, while others are less intrusive and act more as a backup. Getting to try them out back to back in a controlled environment lets drivers gain a better understanding of them, and we hope this will encourage more people to make use of these life-saving safety technologies. If you're interested in buying any of the cars in this video, head to whatcar.com, where you'll find some great savings on new cars.